Hey everyone. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us. We're really excited to see you. Why don't you go ahead and share in the chat where you're joining us from? We'd love to know who is in the audience with us. I'm going to go ahead and share my slides with you. Okay. France, if you want to say hi.
Hello, everyone. France Hoang, co-founder and CEO of BoodleBox. It's a delight to join you all today.
Okay, we're loading, we're loading, we're loading. And it's still loading. um, Yeah, so friends, how's everything going with you guys with higher ed? I know that you've really been doing a great job of developing products that are going to be great for people who are working in our sector.
Yeah, it's going great, and I'll tell you why it's going great. We've taken the approach from day one as this is meant to be a collaboration, not just a platform, but higher ed knows its problems best. And so, you are one of our alpha
Yeah,
testers. Now we are all the way here to where we're at almost a year later.
yeah.
It's the input of folks like you that have like really helped us along, and we're just tremendously blessed. We have a great community of scholars and academics who have been working with us, and so it's going really well.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Yeah, it's amazing, France, when I think about our conversation, the first conversation we had in January, and and I was giving you feedback. I was like, oh, this is how I'd love to be able to use it with my students. This is how I'd love to be able to use it to help me my course updating and stuff that I just have to slog through. And then like to see it come to fruition was really exciting. But I don't know if you remember, I said this to you. I said, I'm pretty sure I couldn't have this conversation with Sam Altman, meaning the fact that you all are so accessible to us is so great. I'm nothing wrong with Sam Altman, but the fact
Yeah.
that we as users get to be able to give input, I think is really, really important in a product, quite frankly, that is so critical to what I'm doing, whether it's in the Institute or at NYU when I'm teaching, or even in my role as an alumni leader through Cornell. So I just wanted to share that with folks. Let's see if I can get it up again because it was being a little bit shady. All right, so let's get in. All right. There we go. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Liz Ngonzi. I'm a founder and CEO of the International Social Impact Institute. I'm also an adjunct assistant professor at NYU and a very, very proud Cornell alumna volunteer. So we're going to be speaking to various audiences. So this presentation has been tailored for you if you're an admin or staff member at a university, an alumni leader, or faculty member. And I think we have some students, so some of you will be able to get a sense of this. And what we're focused on having you learn today is how to seamlessly integrate top AI models into your educational and admin toolkit. Strategies to save time and boost effectiveness in supporting students in your institutional goals, right? We all have the same amount of time or lack of time, so being able to save it is wonderful. We'll have some real world case studies from institutions that are already benefiting from BoodleBox. And then we'll do a demo of some key features. And for those of you who want us to demo something that's of interest to you, please make sure that you share that in the chat and we will absolutely support you on that. So without further ado, I'm going to have France present first, and then I'll go into the second part of the presentation. And France, I'm going to be I'm going to help you with your slides, so let me know when you're ready for me to move
Great.
on.
Thanks, Liz. Great to meet everybody. Thanks for joining today. Just a little bit about my background. I've kind of had several lives. I've been very fortunate. I'm an immigrant from Vietnam. I grew up in a small town. Wanted to give back to this great country, so I went to West Point, served in the Army for a while. Then I became a lawyer. I worked in DC, including time in the White House. Then I rejoined the Army. Then I became an entrepreneur. Had several different entrepreneurial ventures in different industries. More recently, I've served as the trustee of a university. I'm a visiting lecturer at both West Point and sometimes at the Air Force Academy. And so, my experience spans the areas of technology, of education, and entrepreneurship. And throughout all of that, right, throughout the journey, there's kind of three things I've really strongly believed in, which is those three are first, the value of service, the power of education, and the importance of collaboration. And all those things kind of come together in BoodleBox. So, Lizzie, you don't mind jumping ahead to
Sure.
slide 6?
So France,
Yeah.
basically, you're an underachiever.
I'm
Okay.
very blessed. I love what I do, and I get to surround myself with people who love what they do, like you, Liz, which is
Oh,
just
yay. Okay. I moved on for you.
thank you, thank you. So
Sure.
BoodleBox, so BoodleBox has been around for several years. We like to joke we've been doing AI before AI was cool, but when generative AI kind of hit the scene, we decided to build a new tool focused on around this idea of collaborative AI. And what does that mean? Collaborative AI means the ability for multiple AIs, multiple people, multiple sources of information all to be able to work together responsibly. And that is nowhere as important as in education. And so we've really focused our mission now on partnering with faculty and staff and students, like the folks on the webinar today. And our goal is to build the very best platform in the world for collaborative, responsible AI in the classroom and classwork. And as I mentioned, we've got some great partners in doing so. We've got an AI Leadership Council, over 30 academics, everyone from a dean of a school to instructors, community colleges advising us on how we should think about AI in education and how we should think about the platform. We've recently kicked off a campus AI Leadership Council. One of the things we noticed is that all of these discussions about AI in education, it was mostly professors and academics. And we felt that students should have a greater voice. So we're going to work with them to have that. And we've been very active. That's where we met you first, Liz, at a conference. We have a number of partnerships. We're working with the AAC&U in their AI Institute. So it's fantastic. It's such a great community. And I think we all care about the same thing, which is how do we move education forward? How do we prepare students for the future? Next slide, please. So in all these discussions, we're really blessed because we have this ability then to be in a place where we get to hear from a lot of different folks. Yeah, you can go ahead and show all the bullets,
Okay.
Liz. So there's three things I often get asked, like, what are you hearing out there? What are some of your takeaways? What do you hear from educators since you've talked to like hundreds of them in a given month? So there's three things that we've really heard. First, the ship has sailed, right? Like AI is in college, like those of us that, acknowledge that, go through the 5 stages of grief, right? And just kind of accept it or willing to move on. I think there are some professors who still feel like AI is bad, humans are good. They're in the minority. Not that AI should be used for everything everywhere. That's not what I'm saying. But the reality is we've got to learn how to deal with AI in the classroom. And so professors who are there, the first thing we hear over and over again is professors just want to know how to start. Like, I'm ready to embrace it, or at least I'm begrudgingly embracing it. How do I start? Like, make it simple, make it easy. Where do I begin? So for all of you who are thinking about implementing or introducing AI to your institutions, one of the things that always strikes me as I go and talk to different universities, I just came back from the University of South Carolina, professors are beginning from a very basic place. The students are ahead of them. They just need something simple and easy to start. So that's the first thing. The second one is the one that we really picked up. We were at the Teaching with AI conference down in Orlando, Florida, 850 educators, 150 schools. And there was a message that emerged from that conference, which is there's this struggle with how do we give assignments and classwork and assess now in the age of AI? Because before, it used to be that a professor would teach to a body of knowledge, teach to a particular skill, and then the students would demonstrate their comprehension and their critical thinking by producing an artifact, an essay, a deliverable, right? Well, that's been disrupted with AI because the student, without any comprehension or critical thinking, could put a prompt into an AI and produce the very same product that the professor used to lean upon to assess the students' critical thinking and creativity. So what do we do now, right? Well, one approach is ban the AI when we talked about how that's problematic, and there's other problems with it as well. But the problem is, how do I assess? And so there's a theme emerging that in a world of AI, where product is so easy to produce, maybe the process matters more than the product. That maybe what we should assess and teach to isn't producing a thing, but how to produce that thing, right? That maybe what we should grade the student on is the responsible collaboration with other people and with AI and see how they do that. And that's what's important. That's where we can impart critical thinking. that's the role of the educator, which is to teach a student how to responsibly collaborate with other human beings with these tools, including AI, and to demonstrate that they comprehend that process, right? And can recognize what good versus bad looks like in the product. And so in a world where process matters than product, what you do need, though, is a platform that enables that. And so that's one of the critical needs that we talk to. The third thing that we've heard, oh, sorry, one more point.
Sorry.
The third thing that we heard, Liz, is that equitable access to AI is critical. In a world where we allow AI in the classroom, then students should all have the same access to AI. Students know the difference between free AI and paid AI. They know that paid AI is better. And if they have the means, they're willing to pay for it. I spoke to one parent, their son, their child pays for over $100 a month in AI and uses it for school. What kind of advantage does that student have over a disadvantaged student who can't afford that? Yep. And oh, by the way, for the professors who are still leaning in on AI detection tools, it's well known that those tools are more likely to flag free AI than paid AI. So what you're really doing when you use those tools is you're most likely to flag the use of AI by disadvantaged students. And is that the world we want to live in? We're going to punish students for trying to keep up with their peers, but they just don't have enough money to use the same tools that their peers are using. And so one of the other things that we're passionate about at Boodle is enabling equitable access to AI. And we think that's absolutely critical in a world going forward, not just in terms of making education itself fair, but preparing people for the real world, right? And for the workforce. Liz, it sounds like you want to say something here, and I'd love to hear.
I love it. I'm like, I want to clap, because equitable access is so critical, because I don't want us to be living in a world where only those who are privileged have access to AI and those advantages that AI presents, but that we make it available to as many people as possible. So I love that. And actually, that's one of the reasons why I love Boodle, because I believe that the way that it's packaged together and the sort of the offering is of a great value. So I was agreeing with you. That's all you saw.
I'll share a quick story. We had a large university, 3 campuses. They came to us. They asked for a very large quote, like thousands of seats, and we gave them a price. And they came back and said, "Look, this price works for one of our campuses, which is urban, but it doesn't work for the other 2 campuses, which are rural. The students just simply can't afford it. So can you give us a quote just for the seats for the urban students?" Well, we didn't like that. Like, that didn't feel right to us. So we went back to them and said, "Look, we'll do something else instead. If you pay the price we quoted for all the urban students, we'll give you a grant and greatly discount the price for the rural students, so all of your students can have access to AI."
I love that.
So we're leaning into it. We're doing our part too, and we're leaning into it that way.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that tremendously. Should I move on to the next slide?
Yes, next slide. You can just go and just show all the bullets.
Okay, all right.
So this is not going to come as a surprise to anybody who's an educator, but I think it is worth reviewing why are professors and faculty not using GenAI. For those of us who are very comfortable with this, are early adopters, I think sometimes we kind of are dismissive and say, well, why wouldn't you use AI, right? Like, it's the opposite. There are very valid reasons for not using AI in the classroom, right? First is I'm just unfamiliar. As a professor, I want to be the smart one in the classroom. And it's kind of scary and intimidating that my students know more about AI than I do. And, I've been teaching 10, 20, 30 years without AI. Why do I need AI now? Like, demonstrate to me how this is a value add. There's a belief that AI use can stunt critical thinking and creativity, and that belief is grounded. There's a study that just came out. Wharton did a study of 1,000 high school students in Turkey. They gave them access to AI. In one case, AI without any guardrails, another without. They found that the students without AI guardrails performed better initially, but then performed worse in the long run, is the bottom line takeaway. The students with AI guardrails, in other words, AI that required them to do more than just put in a prompt and get an answer, performed better in the short run and just as well as the students who didn't have AI in the long run. There's a fear of over-reliance on AI, right? If I get used to using AI, can I perform and function in a world without it? This is a more tricky one, Liz.
Yeah.
You could argue the same thing about a calculator, right?
Right.
How many of us could do could find a square root of a irrational number, right?
Just the word square root.
Yeah, right. So have we become
Yeah.
reliant, have we become reliant on calculators, right?
Or not only that, but I mean, it's just thinking right as you're saying that, like if I wanted to know something, what would I say? Google
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so we are using technology in various ways to help us, right? And anyway, so yeah, it's not like
Yeah.
anyone's really doing anything on their own,
Yeah. I mean,
unaided.
I talked to a professor. He goes, "I'm the world's worst speller." I mean, it's a
Yeah.
professor from South Carolina. He's like, "I would have never gotten through my PhD without spell check."
Yeah.
Is he over reliant on spell check? Does he need to know how to spell? I don't know. So I think this is a value judgment on what is the proper amount of reliance on these tools, right?
Yeah.
Um, Look, let's be fair too. There's ambiguity around assessments and grading. At the end of the day, as
Yeah.
if you're a teacher, you have to assess, you have to grade, you have to provide feedback. And then if you're an administrator, you're concerned about the effort and cost. Some of these
Mm-hmm.
systems are expensive. I've heard schools being quoted $36 a seat a month per student, $100 a seat a month per student. Well, that's a ruinous cost. Like
Yeah.
only the richest schools could afford that, and that's not right. So what do faculty actually need, right? They need training and technology, and those go hand in glove, right? That enables both the faculty member and the student to responsibly collaborate with AI to achieve learning outcomes. They need training and technology that supports critical thinking and creativity. They need a way to accurately assess, and this needs to be easy to implement and affordable, Liz. So next slide, please.
Okay.
So that's why we've leaned into this idea of collaborative AI, right? We believe that AI isn't just a challenge to be overcome. It actually presents an opportunity for rethinking, reimagining the classroom experience in a way that is beneficial to the teacher and to the student, right? That it can become a catalyst for critical thinking and creativity. Next slide, please. And so what are the things we do teach then? Oh, go ahead, Liz. You had something to say?
One of the things I want to reinforce something you're saying. Like I remember at NYU when we had to start using LMSs, and everyone was like, "Oh gosh, we don't want to use learning management systems; they're pain and all this stuff." And I mean, I was one of them, right? And we've actually had several of them. But what I ended up realizing is that it as much as it may have been difficult to begin with, right? I had to learn. It was a kind of like a ramp up stage. It actually enabled me to have a lot more interactivity with my students and to create a much more robust experience for them. And in some ways made my job easier. So I really kind of think about like, approaching these tools and that are available to us as ways to really create greater value for our students and figuring out how we could do that and also how we can make our lives easier because ultimately they do. So I just wanted to add that.
No, it's a great point, Liz. And I feel the same way. But I think it's, to be fair, it's frightening, right?
Yeah.
Like it's uncertain. Like, I don't know. Like I'm going to go back and teach. I'm a visiting lecturer at West Point. I'm going to be teaching a law class here in 3 weeks. I'm going to do an entire AI enabled class.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got to think about like, how do you teach law in the AI world? Like the way I went through law school was we literally read like hundreds of pages of cases.
Yeah.
And then a professor would just call on us and we'd ask questions. Is that actually the most efficient way to have a great experience? Right, in class? Like, is that the most efficient way to transmit? Is the student and the professor getting the most out of the valuable time they have in the classroom? I don't know. I'm going to rethink that and do experiments. One of the great things about BoodleBox, and I think it's one of the reasons why universities and colleges have really been attracted to it, is it's not just an educational tool, it's a workforce tool.
Mm-hmm.
It's used, it's the same tools, the same models, the same prompts in that a student will use when they graduate in the workforce, they get to use now.
100%.
And so we have built the platform, not just as a piece of technology, but around a framework that reflects our values and how we think the relationship between AI and people should be considered, right? And so this is our collaborative AI framework. I'm not going to go into great detail, but the bottom line is most people think that using AI is putting a prompt into ChatGPT. Well, you're ignoring a lot that should go before that, and you're ignoring a lot that should come after that, right? So the first thing you should do if you're going to use AI is this even the right use case? There are good use cases, there are not good use cases. AI struggles with structured data. There are use cases that I think are problematic probably from a value standpoint, right? Like AI probably shouldn't be used to make value judgments directly without any intervention. If you decide it is the right use case, how do you select the right model and bot? There's dozens and dozens of AIs and models, and then there's thousands of bots, right? And so we need to become good critical consumers, evaluators, and choosers of AI, right?
Yeah.
And make careful choices. Just like you don't take a limousine off-roading, right?
Right.
You pick the right car for the right job. Well, we need you to pick the right AI for the right job. Obviously, we need to learn how to talk to AIs. That's about prompting. AI and chats get way better, Liz. You're a
Yeah.
master.
Yeah.
Bringing in knowledge, bringing in your personal data, right?
Yes.
And then eventually, right, the ability to work with more than one AI in a conversation. That's really, I know that blows people's minds, right? But we call it bot stacking. Maybe you research with one AI, draft with another, and pick another AI to revise. And that allows you to mitigate hallucinations and to use the strengths and weaknesses of different AIs. And then sometimes the answer, as we know, AI actually isn't that great, to be honest. It gives you like a B minus, C plus result. To get to an A plus result, you need a human that knows what A plus looks like. And so sometimes the answer in working with AI isn't more AI, it's bringing in a human, bringing in that expert. And then ultimately, we need to evaluate the output and use it responsibly. We need to consider that AI hallucinates and has bias and is unreliable, is inaccurate. And then even if the result is good, are we using it in an appropriate manner? So this is the framework we teach for the workplace use of AI. I think it's the same framework that could be adopted and used in the classroom as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what can faculty and students use AI for? Now, look, you can certainly use AI for administrative purposes, writing letters of recommendation, that sort of thing. And BoodleBox can do well for that. AI can also be used for research. We have plenty of research tools in BoodleBox. But today I'm going to focus on what I'm passionate about, what the Boodle team is passionate about, which is teaching and learning, right? And so there are 3 particular tasks that are very important for every professor, and that AI can do tremendous things to help with. First is preparing for class. Second is teaching and learning responsible AI in the classroom. And the third is assessing classworks afterwards. So let me go ahead and just go through a couple of examples of each of these. Next slide, please. So what can you do with AI in the classroom, right? You can rewrite existing lesson plans. You can adjust existing course syllabus. You can create brand new assignments that incorporate AI. So for the professors who are like, I'm ready to get started, but I don't know how. So this is very meta, but you can use AI to recommend how to incorporate AI into the course materials you already have. And it's actually a fantastic use of AI. So on the next slide, I'll give you an example of that. Here, what we've done is we've uploaded a writing assignment, actually an entire course syllabus, and I've asked the AI, please revise the writing assignment in the provided syllabus to incorporate responsible collaboration with AI to support the learning objectives and to support critical thinking and creativity. And here you see this particular AI bot, I use Sonnet, you can use plenty of others, took the existing course syllabus and then generated a revised assignment that incorporates AI. And so this is just a very easy, approachable way to use AI to prepare for class. Next slide, please.
I just, again?
Yeah, next slide, please.
No, I did switch. I went to the next slide.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is the rubric.
Yes. So the next thing you might want to do is generate a rubric. So here I am, same assignment. I've gone ahead and asked the AI, hey, please generate a rubric for the above assignment, answer in paragraph bullet point format. And here the AI is looked through the original course syllabus, looked through the assignment we just created, and it's generated a rubric that incorporates all of that. Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Next slide, please, Liz. Okay. One of the valuable things in BoodleBox is that you get affordable access to all the top models. So all the models from all the major ecosystems, OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Meta, Perplexity, and over 1,000 specific bots. What we've done is put them all in one platform. You can use them independently. You can use them together. You have unlimited use of them for less than the cost of ChatGPT. So for a student or for a professor, this allows you academic diversity. This allows you academic freedom. You can use and experiment with all the different tools. that enables a student to engage in that process that we talked about experimenting with different AIs, learning the strengths and weaknesses, choosing the right AI, using multiple AIs, either whether individually or as part of a team, and then responsibly evaluating the output that comes from that. And this opens up all kinds of interesting classroom possibilities. For example, in the next slide, this is an example of a group chat. So one of the things you can do in BoodleBox is have multiple people participate in the same conversation. Here you have 3 students that have been given a group project to draft a one-page proposal on why GenAI should be allowed in the classroom. And you see the students are talking to each other. And in this group chat, if we were to open it up, you can see the students actually using multiple AIs and working with each other to get the task done, which is really an interesting way and perhaps the future of human AI teaming and work. Okay, next slide, please. Last but not least, accurate academic assessments. Ultimately, the professor wants the student to get better, wants to get feedback on what they've done. Professors can use GenAI to understand how students are using AI individually or as part of a group, and then assess or at least provide feedback by applying rubrics using AI. So on the next slide, you'll see an example. We've taken the group chat that I previously showed you, and we've added it back in and asked another AI to analyze it. And the question we asked was, analyze the contributions and approach of each member of the project team. And here's the AI's like very detailed and insightful analysis of how each team member used AI and how they performed as part of the group. Yeah. Which is like a level of feedback we would normally not provide, right? Like no professor is going to read, like for every single assignment provide this, but you literally could if you want to.
Which is great because a lot of times you don't actually know, right? Because you're relying on the students to tell you.
Yeah.
Right. So I think this is very valuable.
Another thing that we provide, right, is the ability to get analytics. So here's that same chat, and you can see the number of students that are involved, the number of chats, prompts, messages, the number of assistants used. So one of the issues with group projects often is, you know, Liz and France do a project together. Liz does all the work. France does none of the work. Liz complains to the professor, and then it's her, you know, it's just a pain, right? You can sidestep part of that here with this kind of functionality. Next slide.
It's me.
I think it's over to you.
Yeah, it's over to me. Thank you. That was amazing. All right, so let me take over and tell you a little bit about me. I'm on a mission to demystify AI for institutions and individuals seeking to amplify their impact. And I do it in multiple ways. So I mentioned that I teach at NYU. I've been there for 15 years, teaching courses now on how nonprofits and other organizations can leverage AI to better engage their stakeholders, to be able to raise money and the like. And so I do it in that capacity. I also was fortunate to be named 101 in the inaugural listing of 101 remarkable women in AI marketing. So if whatever got you to this event, we use Boodle to market to you. So that's just a demonstration of how we market leveraging AI. I also speak quite a bit internationally. This is, I recently spoke at NASDAQ specifically about AI for inclusive AI, but I do this all over the world, helping folks, whether they're nonprofits or small businesses or professionals, to figure out how to leverage this technology to do their work better and to be able to do more of what they're really seeking to accomplish in the world. France mentioned, or actually we were talking about, also as a convener, we recently co-organized Imagine AI Impact NYC at Cornell Tech, which was a conference geared towards people who are not technical, who want to understand how to leverage AI in their businesses, in their organizations, in their careers. And we had 40 amazing speakers that participated in that. And then as a teacher, as a trainer and coach, I was in Rwanda at the inaugural AI symposium at the African Leadership University last month, where I helped students to figure out how to integrate Boodle, actually using Boodle for their personal branding, for looking for jobs, and for those who are entrepreneurs, helping them with their pitch decks, and then also looking at how they could use it for different projects that they're working on. And then in my various roles, I'm on the President's Council of Cornell Women. I'm also in the Cornell University Council, as well as a member of the American Society for AI and of the Court of Massachusetts Americas. And in each of those roles, I'm leveraging AI or showing folks how to integrate into what they're doing. So I'm proudly a person who's really excited about GenAI. I'm excited to be part of this. So this presentation that is going to be for all of these different folks, and we're going to have an opportunity where we're going to actually go live, and so start thinking about any use cases you want us to use to show you how Boodle works live. So why is BoodleBox my go-to AI tool? France spoke about this, but I want to share for me, as someone who was an alpha tester, has been using this platform since at least last September, I think, or October. One is the output quality. It's really, really quite extraordinary, the quality of delivery, and I'll show you some of my favorite tools that I use, like the I use like an ad bot. I use a CMO bot. I use the event planning bot, but it can help me with course planning and teaching and research and marketing. It's definitely very budget friendly, as France mentioned. And so for the same cost that I paid for ChatGPT, I have 1,000 bots that I can access. That is really great for me, right? No financial strain. And then I can navigate between bots, as France mentioned as well. And it's very easy for people to use. So if I have to bring someone from my team, or if I want to bring students in, it makes it easy. It's easy for them to be able to join and start using it. And then I really love the fact that we can work collaboratively on projects, and we're going to show you that later on as well. All right, so I want to show you 3 case studies. I'm going to walk you through how I use this in my classroom. So this is a course that I teach at NYU, and so it's called Digital Storytelling for Fundraising with AI for fundraising. So here is literally just a screenshot of my assessment from last semester. It's wide, but these are the questions that I downloaded from NYU and the responses from my students. And I uploaded that into BoodleBox, and I basically wanted to figure out, based on the assessment that I got from my students in the fall, I wanted to analyze and give me a sense for what worked, what didn't, and what I should sort of consider changing following, for this coming year. So here we've got what worked well, right? It lays that out for me. Then it lays out for me areas for potential improvement that the students indicated, and then recommendations for the fall semester, right? So this took me like no time to get from Boodle. As you can see, I'm not like an amazing prompter and like that. I just communicate with it the same way I would with a person. And then I said, okay, now that we've been able to get a sense for what the students want, I want to get ready for this semester. So I took the syllabus that I had already, and I had the recommendations from the fall 2024, and I uploaded them into Boodle, and I said, okay, now that we've gotten this sort of feedback, I want you to help me think about how to update this year's syllabus. And here's what's different. In the past, I've taught this course online 7 weeks for 3 hours each week. But this time I'm offering it for 3 days in person in October, and it's going to be 8 hours each day. So that's the first level of complexity. It's got to be able to change it into that. And then I also want to make sure that some of the feedback that I got from the students, we're incorporating it. So one important thing is that students said they wanted more lab time. So as you can see, the output of this, it shows me day 1, day 2, and day 3. And in fact, introduced lab session every single day, so that we're really responsive to what the students wanted. And this took me no time. I've got to tell you, in the past, and I'm sure many of you can relate to this, it would have taken me a very long time trying to reconfigure this and trying to make it make sense for the students. But this was really, really seamless for me to be able to do using AI. Using BoodleBox. And then the next thing is, we got to be able to promote this course, right? And so I'm going to be promoting this on LinkedIn. So I said, okay, you have my syllabus, you've got the updated, you've got the updated sort of course, the way the course is going to be laid out. And then we've got the promo from the website. And I said, okay, Boodle, I want you now to help me to go ahead and create a LinkedIn post. So here's the LinkedIn post. So are you ready to enhance your fundraising skills with cutting edge digital storytelling techniques? Gives us join me for this event, this course. It gives the course name, what you're going to get out of it, the timing, and the like. And so, again, that was really, really simple. So I literally maybe tweak a couple of things, and I can put this on LinkedIn with my image. I'm good to go. So this takes you from being able to do some data analysis, being able to update your course, and then being able to promote it. So that's what we're going to cover. Now, I want to be able to have you join me on Boodle, and I think the folks will go ahead and give you a link to join me in BoodleBox. And friends, I hope that you join me too.
Yes.
We're gonna collaborate. I want to show them how we can collaborate together. So let me get out of this and go into my shared box. So
is the link going to go in the webinar chat?
yes,
Okay.
I believe Meredith or Ludmilla are sharing that link. And so, friends, I think something that's really, really cool that yesterday I noticed, and I was like, wait, what's going on here? People can choose the sort of version they want to see. I'm not using your technical terms, but if it's everyone, administrator, you want to share a little bit of what this is about? Because I thought this was kind of cool when I saw it yesterday.
Yeah, one of the things that we got, sorry, I'm Dr. today, by the way.
That's okay. That's okay.
My persona.
I love that. Yeah.
Bonus points if anyone knows who that name actually refers to. No, so one of the things the feedback we got is even for new users, the empty chat box can be intimidating.
Yeah.
And so we created what we call quick commands. So if you hit a new chat like you had before, it gives you a grid of boxes of suggested bots and prompts, and you can just click on them and go. And just dive right in to BoodleBox.
Right.
And so that's what those are. And there's a bunch of categories of those. So you can select like you did. For those who are joining, I think Liz is going to cover this, but if you want to talk to humans, you do / and that's a comment. If you just type, it's a prompt.
Yeah. Okay, so what should we try? Homecoming is coming up. So I was thinking for those in the group who are maybe alumni leaders, because I also wanted to help them, and even people who are working in the university who may be working on activities, I'd love to see if we maybe can come up with an idea. So Cornell's homecoming is October 25th to 27th, okay? And so I want to ask BoodleBox to help me find the right bot. So I'm going to say, can you help me with planning an alumni? Right? So then it pulls up these various bots that I can choose. So the one I'm going to use today is the event plan bot. Okay. And I'm going to say Cornell University's homecoming weekend is October 27th. I want to plan an interesting young alumni event that speaks to the university's mission to do the greatest good. It's not mission, but it's a tagline. To do the greatest good. Can you give me 10 ideas, 10 interesting and unique ideas? Right, so it's like if I were speaking to someone, right? So I go here. So we can do an impact hackathon. We can do Cornell Cares Community Service Day. We can do a mentorship thing. We can do a TEDx Cornell alumni event. We can do Changemakers workshop. What do you think we should do?
So I'm going to actually, I'm going to tell a bot. I'm going to bring a character bot.
Okay, let's do that.
Take on the role of any character. And I say, please take on the role of a student at Cornell.
Yeah.
Student at Cornell. And share your feedback on the above ideas.
Okay.
And so I'm telling the AI to take on the role of the student and to give feedback.
Okay.
And so here, if you scroll down, I think you're going to see
Yeah, I'm gonna see
the
it.
students' feedback.
Yeah. Okay, so first off, that Impact Hackathon sounds awesome. Cornell Cares is right up my alley too. Sustainability Summit, that's speaking my language. Idea sounds pretty cool. All right, so I saw a couple of people typing. What do you guys choose? You tell us which one we should go with, and we're going to develop that concept together. I see multiple people typing at the same time. Okay, I think. Okay, first, okay. Oh, Alex. Okay, so
So I did something
you,
that so AI doesn't like to make decisions. It wants to
yeah,
please and not
yeah,
offend. So
yeah,
sometimes you have to push it to make a decision. So I
yes,
pushed the character and said, hey, you only pick one, which one?
yeah.
So,
Okay, so the first one we're going to go off. So we're going to go with the Cornell spirit of innovation and problem solving. Wait, no,
or
no,
yeah,
no,
pick
sorry.
anything. It says the Impact Hackathon is what it
Okay, okay, all right, great. So I need to. I can. Today is August 29th. Can you help me actually with a plan and timeline share with my committee? See, so it gives you, do you know how long this usually would take?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I wasn't specific about the fact that it's 2024, so that's my bad. Actually, today is August 29th, 2024. You guys only have about 99 days. Okay, so it's giving us short, and it's even so polite. It apologized to me, and
Yeah.
I'm the one who made the mistake,
Yeah.
right? So it's giving that that to us. So, France, should we market this? Should we, or what do I want to be able to show a different bot. So why don't you come up with a different bot we can use to be able to take this further? So now that we have a plan, maybe should we send it right in email, or should we
Yeah.
maybe try to get a promo or something?
Great. Yeah. By the way, I went ahead and
Oh,
I'm always constantly discovering new things that
yeah,
bots could do. For example, I
right.
didn't realize that it can produce a Gantt chart and tell you the critical path.
Oh, love that.
So there's the
Yeah,
critical path and Gantt chart for planning.
yeah.
It's not something like that would take an hour of my time,
Oh,
right?
are you
Where
kidding? Totally.
like, okay, so these are the things I need to do in what order, right?
Hmm.
Like that's amazing. But yeah,
Yeah,
let's market this. So maybe write a social media post. I don't know.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
Which one do you use? I want to discover what you use.
yeah, so there's a couple of ways to do it. So some people, I've noticed people use the BoodleBox in one of two ways. One
Yeah,
is some folks like to bring in specialized bots.
yeah.
Other folks like to use the general bots and use very specific prompting,
Hmm.
like prompters.
Yeah.
So if since we've been using specialized bots, I thought it might be interesting to switch over and do the other way.
Okay.
So if you go to prompt bot,
Yep.
so bring in prompt bot.
Oh, prompt bot. Oh.
Yeah, let's go at prompt.
Oh my gosh, I'm learning something new.
Where is it? Why is prompt bot not coming up? Okay, here we go. So select prompt bot when it comes up.
Yeah, I think it's because there's so much movement.
Okay, give it a second.
Yeah, because there are
If you go
people.
just at prompt, it should come up.
Okay, there we
There you
go.
go. Select it and say, help me improve this prompt. Write a social media post for the above event.
Wow. Okay, I'm like learning.
So, and then let's just hit enter. And what prompt bot will do now is it'll analyze your prompt and it'll tell you how to write a better prompt, and it'll explain why that prompt is better so that you it improves your own prompting.
Yeah.
Now, some people don't even care about the explanation. They just copy and paste the prompt.
Right.
Now we can go ahead and use copy and paste that improved prompt.
Yep.
And then go to whatever model we tend to choose now. I don't know, maybe we mix it up and do, I don't know, pick one of the general models, Liz. It doesn't really.
Oh, okay. All right. So I will go with ChatGPT. I don't know.
Yeah, 4.0. Go ahead and go to 4.0.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Great. And then go ahead and just put in that prompt.
Oh, did I put it? What did I put wrong?
No, that's fine. Oh, you can just go at 4.0 and then you can use ChatGPT.
Oh,
At 4. Yeah. Oh, 4. Yeah, there you go. Yep. You can use mini if you want. That's fine.
okay.
And then just go. So this is I think this is not how you use the platform, Liz, which is
No,
really
it's not how I
interesting.
use it.
Yeah. So for some people, this is the only way they use BoodleBox.
Yeah.
They use general models and prompt bot.
Yeah. No, I love so you want to see my favorite bots? Let me show you.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to it's not showing. Okay, so Chief Marketing Officer bot, deal negotiator, proposal writer, negotiation.
Oh, there you go. I love it.
Yeah.
So you favorited them for ease of access.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So those are the ones. Those are kind of like my go-tos.
So it might be interesting, Liz.
Hmm?
I think you told me you do this, like bring in another bot and critique what this just came out. Maybe ask like Chief Marketing Officer bot.
Okay. All right.
How would you improve the above?
Okay. Okay. So like that. Ready for a good hack? Or to hack for good? I like this. All right. So tone, language, relevance, value proposition, humor, nostalgia, FOMO. Yeah. It's like, look at that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is great.
Yeah.
So another very common use of prompt bot is to generate image prompts. Image prompts can be hard. There's a very specific talk to images. So prompt bot is actually good. I went ahead and
okay, so we'll go down.
Generate a image to go along with the above, and I'm going to bring in the latest, greatest image model, Flux, which is getting all kinds of attention right now, and ask it away. So images take a little bit longer.
That's okay. Yeah, I mean, of course, they require more, but this still really fast.
Yeah. So I used PromptBot to create. I asked PromptBot create an image prompt to create a great image to go along with the above post. It did, and then I pasted that into the chat bar to go as a prompt to Flux. And so here for Flux to produce.
Honestly, that's the hardest thing for me is image generation.
Yes.
That's always the hardest thing for me.
And it didn't do a good job. I don't know what it produced there. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder why I did that. Okay.
You want to use one of the others?
Yeah, I was about to say, one of the great things about BoodleBox is if you don't get a good result, you just pick a different bot, right? Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and bring into Stable Diffusion and see what it produces.
Okay.
Oh, you're going to try Dolly 3?
I'll wait till you go first. So this is what you generated for us? Okay, let's see.
That's a little better.
Yeah.
It's a floating mic, but it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. And the thing is, you tweak it. It's just like even with like text when it generates
Yeah.
text, you have to tweak it. It's not that it's not. It doesn't come out the gate like perfect, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, so it's still going there. Okay. Um, I want to see if there are any questions that have come through. Okay. Ooh, what's this?
I
Vibrant
think
energy.
it focused on the future holographic display content.
Okay. So what should I do to sort of tweak that? What should I remove? Okay. Do you want to
Yeah,
tweak that?
I think this is one of those cases. So one of the things that you can do in BoodleBox is you can talk to it in English,
Yeah.
give it feedback. And this is true of both text and image. You'd be like,
Mhm.
no, the image doesn't contain any people. I want people in it.
Right.
Try again, right? And you
Right.
just talk to it. I often say like AI is like the dumbest smart person you'll ever meet. Like
Right.
it's like that very eager but naive intern, which both means you shouldn't trust it, right? You
Yeah.
need to verify. And second, it's gonna misinterpret. It's gonna get the answer wrong. So you're gonna have to tweak it. And sometimes, I don't know if this ever happened to you, Liz. You got to start
Mhm.
over. Like I'll be in the chat and it's like, oh, this isn't doing what I want to do. I just need to start the chat over, right? And
Yeah. No, I do that. I do
yeah.
that. Um,
Um,
okay. And
something we
it's,
haven't talked about, which maybe, yeah. See,
yeah.
I think at this point you're gonna have to start the chat over. It's got the
Yeah.
content, it's kind of locked in.
Okay.
Um, uh, did we show image or did we show knowledge? It might be useful if we showed
Oh
knowledge.
yeah. What do you want it? It would have to be me, right? It has to.
Yeah, happy. You can just show
Okay.
where it goes and how you would
So
apply.
okay, so if I wanted to add, like, let's say, if, one of my nifty tricks that I like to do, it's not a trick, but I like to do is, if I'm trying to show someone how they can update their LinkedIn profile, I'll have them download it as a PDF from LinkedIn, and then I upload it here, and then I have Boodle, um, uh, kind of review it for them. I know that there is a LinkedIn bot that you have, but so you just go here and you see I have all this different knowledge that I upload. But the knowledge is helpful because it helps to provide additional context, right?
Yep.
So you just upload whatever it is you want. Here, let me just, I'll come up with something that I've done.
Yeah.
Maybe I just need to make sure it's not something here. Okay, and then I click upload.
I always love seeing other people use the platform AI
Yeah,
because I really all one of us uses it differently.
yeah.
There's so
Oh,
many ways to use it, so many combinations. So it's interesting to see like, wait, you use that bot or you combine it with this or
yeah,
so like you upload like I never thought about like so be honest like I hadn't thought about uploading a LinkedIn profile as a PDF. Like that's an
yeah.
interesting way to do it. There are definitely some benefits to doing it that way.
Sure.
So while that's uploading, Liz, I'll share a story.
Okay.
I used BoodleBox this morning. That was interesting. I had a friend that said, "Hey, look, I've wrote this draft. I would love your feedback on the draft. Things I should improve."
Yeah.
And they're asking me because they wanted my perspective, right? Like because they know I've worked in various places, the White House,
Mhm.
whatever. So I uploaded a bunch of my own writing. I use Perplexity and says, look, create a persona for France Hoang, describe his writing style, describe his personality. Now using France's sample of writing and the information you have about France, critique this essay.
Mhm.
So I uploaded my friend's essay. I said, critique it and suggest inline comments that should go in the essay.
Mhm.
And then it generated like comments on the essay as if they were from my perspective. And then I reviewed them and inserted them in the essay.
Oh, wow.
So they were, I mean, they were all comments I wanted to make, but it was a big
Yeah.
time saver, right?
Yeah.
Because and it was personalized. It wasn't
Yeah.
just asking ChatGPT, how would you make this essay better? It was, how would you make this essay better pretending you're France?
Right. Exactly. Which
And
is
here's all
like,
this information about France.
which is yeah, which is made the context. Yeah. We have a question that
Yeah.
I want to, so Jazzy Smith said, how do you know which bot to use?
see in the top right-hand corner there, it says Get Started Work. One of the things that we've added is an onboarding form and a checklist. So if you click on that, it'll give you all these materials to go through and learn about BoodleBox. One of them,
Try your first.
yeah, it's not in here. Sorry. Let me here. I just learned something that is not in there. I actually have a guide to AI bots that I created that is part of this. And so I will share that now.
And France, we're going to give them the slides, so we'll also put it into the slides for them to access the link as well.
Yeah. So now you showed the other way.
Yeah, I showed the other way. Like you tell it what you want to do.
Yeah. You just tell it what you want to do and it recommends the right AI. That's the in-platform way. Eventually you probably want to learn. I put a link in the chat. I jokingly call that Hoang's field guide to GenAI models and bots. It's just my take on the different foundation models and AIs and bots out there and what do I use for what.
Right. Okay. I have a question. There's a question for you, France, from Phil Hendricks.
Yeah.
He says the BoodleBox platform is incredibly powerful and intuitive. What significant new features or capabilities do you envision adding over the next 12 to 18 months?
Yeah, so in the near term, we're going to improve the ability for you to build custom bots, custom GPTs. So a bot that is infused with particular knowledge, particular instructions that you can share with other people. So what's the use cases of this, right? You could create a bot that knows if you're a professor that knows your course guide, knows the course materials, and can answer questions for the students in a chat. And you could be in that chat and see the back and forth, so you could jump in if necessary, but the bot's doing the heavy lifting of like, can I use crayon to turn in my essay? Right. Answer that question for you. Then we're going to upgrade that and create what we call AI simulations. That's the ability for multiple custom bots to exist in a conversation and for you to deliver that as an experience to the students. So, for example, you might create a simulation. Let's say your class is on nonprofit fundraising. You might create a simulation that is talk to a major gift donor and you're in a conversation with a major gift donor and a CEO. Here's the things you want to accomplish. Here's the framework. Talk to these bots and then turn in the chat. And so that ability to create hard simulations with custom bots is coming.
Right.
The next thing we want to build are
that's super powerful.
Oh, thank you, Liz. Yeah, I see all kinds of applications for it. Claude introduced a feature called artifacts, where you can produce basically a preview of something that you've generated in AI, mostly code.
Yeah.
Poe has something called previews. We're probably going to call it something else, but we're going to introduce that in Boodle. But the interesting thing about the Boodle version is we want it to be universal. It can be any kind of content, and it can be used with any of the bots, and any of that content can be fed back into a bot, and any of the bots can modify that. So imagine if there's on the window an essay, and you could literally be like, add an illustration about the second paragraph, and it just pops. Right now, bring in Chief Marketing Officer bot. How would you rewrite this?
Right.
And the Chief Marketing Officer bot would actually manipulate the preview you see on screen. So that we think that's the potentially one new way of working.
Okay. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
More agents, more interoperability, like Phil just said.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead, and we have 2 minutes. So I just want to kind of let folks know when they receive our slides, what else they're going to receive. They're going to, so here's some faculty-centered resources. So there's the AI Learning Library. You can watch some videos. Well, these are your resources that maybe I think I should let you.
Oh yeah, so the AI Learning Library, what we collected were hundreds, I think, at this point of use cases from other institutions, colleges, universities, and they're categorized. So you can literally filter like, what are English departments doing for assessments, and it'll show like, oh, here is Cornell's a paper Cornell put up. So you can visit that there. We've got a lot of short form videos. Some people prefer that format. We've got an online community of educators called Boodle U. Join that. You can interact with a bunch of great folks. And then I just thank you for putting the link in for my field guide to GenAI models and bots.
That's Meredith. And then they have a special discount they can get from BoodleBox.
Mhm.
They sign up. And then you can connect with either one of us or both of us on LinkedIn. So there's our QR codes, but you can also just type our names in. I'm at Liz and Ngonzi. He's at France Hoang, France Q Hoang. And then from us, you can learn about some of the things that we write about related to AI, and then our courses and events that we have going on. And thank you for joining us from the BoodleBox team and from the International Social Impact Institute team. And please feel free to get in touch with us and to sign up for our mailing list. France, this was awesome. This is our second webinar together.
I know you're awesome, Liz. This is
Thank
amazing.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you to everyone who took the time to spend it with us. Please share on social what you learned from this and definitely get in touch with us. And thank you for everything you do to advance education. Have a great rest of your week.
Thank you, everyone.